Hello there. So today I'm going to talk to you about the diagnostic process, or how we might approach a case whenever we have a dog or a cat coming in for an illness. It is typically kind of systematic of how we approach these things. So the first thing we're usually going to do is ask for a history, because clients are one of our best ways of starting the figuring out process for an illness. Kind of what you're seeing at home, what's changing. That's why we'll ask a lot of questions of, what are you seeing? Are you seeing vomiting, diarrhea? Is there any pain? Is there any changes to our eating and drinking habits, our normal energy things, that kind of stuff? And when we get that, we combine that with what's called the signalment. That's where we take their age, their breed, their past histories, those kinds of things, their sex, and use that to make a list in our mind. And we call that the rule out list. Those are the things that we want to mark off the list. And that list in our mind is going to change based on that signalment, how long they've been ill for and whatnot. Now, for a lot of our broad things that come in, just vomiting and diarrhea, the list is realistically can be 300 or 400 diseases long. So we will try to pick tests that one will rule in or out multiple diseases at the same time, and two, really fit with the signalment for that pet. So the best example that I have is if you have a patient coming in for vomiting and diarrhea, you got the whole long list. If it's an 8-year-old lab, you may be a little bit more worried about a foreign body. If it's an 8-week-old lab, you might be a little bit more worried about parvo, or a little bit worried about parasites. So that kind of changes the test that you normally start with. The reason I think it's important for people to understand this is I know there is a lot of frustration when people go into a clinic and they get this giant estimate for diagnostics. It's because we're trying to narrow down that problem to come up with something. And there is no test that tells you nothing. That's kind of a pet peeve of mine when people spend money on diagnostics and they say, well, the test didn't tell me anything. If you're marking things off the list, that test did tell you something. It told you that it's not this particular disease, even if it didn't get you to your final answer. Now, if you go into a clinic and they give you a large list of diagnostics and it's kind of shell shock with the money amount, you can ask if you can do what I call stepwise diagnostics, where you kind of take what the doctor considers is the most important one that gives you the most information and work your way down, doing one test at a time. It takes a little bit longer, so you have to have some time dedication to do that. But if you have financial concerns, sometimes that is the way to go. If you have any questions on this, please feel free to pop a comment in there so I can help you out.